Good morning, everyone. How are you? A little Tuesday morning for you. Nice early morning, 6:09 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. No sun to be found here in Manhattan, so sun glare be damned. Oh, there it is. You can see it behind us. Anyway, we're talking baseball, and more baseball, and maybe a little basketball. Just a little interesting tidbit from the world of the NBA. And we may throw in some football because it's August, and you can always talk about football. But let's start with the baseball. Now, for all you people who think I hate the Mets, I got news for you. I don't hate the Mets. I really don't. I want everyone to understand this. Every time I've been talking about the Mets over the last couple days, couple weeks, people who've known me for a long time, I have many Mets friends who they think I simply just hate the Mets. I don't. In 2015, I was rooting for the Mets when they played the Royals. I don't like the Royals. I wasn't rooting for them, obviously, in 2000 when they got stomped out by the Yankees in the Subway Series. But I have no problem with the Mets. I like when New York succeeds, especially in my job now. I work at CBS Sports Radio Network, but it's where WFAN is. It's the same company. We all work for the same company. And when I was part-time at my job, just last year, I worked for WFAN as well. I worked on a lot of the local shows. So I don't dislike the Mets. I really, really don't. Now, let's get to the team and what they're doing right now. Okay. I'm also going to do something I didn't think I was going to do. And I'm going to give them some credit. Now, I'm not going over the moon, over the stars. I'm not going to go absolutely insane because you are what your record says you are, but at the same time, you are what your schedule says you are. So I'm going to preface these compliments. I can see my Mets fans' friends just losing their minds right now. Well, he's not paid a compliment. He's hating them. Well, deal with it. This is what you're getting. This is the best you're going to get from me. They're still playing the Marlins. They're playing very bad teams. So all I'm saying is, you can't win all these games in a row when you're playing the Nationals, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Rockies. Now, Mets fans are also telling me, well, let me enjoy this. You're a Yankee fan. You get all the success and all the World Series. Yeah, but it's not my fault. I'm supposed to let you enjoy a winning streak in the end of July, beginning of August, because you finally figured out how to get back to 500? I mean, get over yourselves. But let me get to the compliment. I know, I swear I'm getting to a compliment in here somewhere. There was a different feeling. Again, even though it was the Marlins, there was a different feeling around yesterday. All right, so yesterday, Monday, was a Mets doubleheader. And they figured out how to pick off both of these games. And the second game, there was just a buzz and an energy around this game, around this team, and more specifically around the seventh inning. 3 home runs in the inning. I mean, J.D. Davis has been pretty good, actually. I mean, he's not the sole reason for this, resurgence, but he's been hitting the ball a long way. And, a decent signing, honestly. One of the things they got right. Now, Conforto, I mean, we know what Alonso's doing, right? And he's another guy who hit a home run in that inning, but we know what he's doing. We know how great his year has been. It's just been an unbelievable ride. He's setting rookie records. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And again, I said this from day one. I give the Mets credit for actually bringing up Alonso at the beginning of the year and saying, be damned with that extra year of, of service for your team. Excuse me. So I do give the Mets credit for that. That normally, you saw it with Chris Bryant, you saw it with a couple guys, earlier in their careers, where teams would keep them down in the minors for a month and then bring them up late, and then the team would have an extra year of control over that player, contract-wise and service time, and it's a bogus rule that they need to change. But a lot of teams this year, it wasn't just the Mets, but you have to give the Mets credit. A lot of teams said, be damned with that. Nick Senzel from the Reds, Eloy Jimenez from the White Sox, Pete Alonso from the Mets. There's a lot of teams who did this, and I applaud them. So without that, who knows what kind of year that Pete Alonso would have been having after spending a month or so down in the minors, and then he gets called up. Maybe he gets injured in the minors. Maybe he's not playing as well in the minors, even though that doesn't make sense. Who knows? Who knows? So, but outside of him, lately you're getting really good baseball from Michael Conforto and Ahmed Rosario. Sorry, drawing a blank here. As I drive through traffic in Manhattan, you join me every morning on my way home from CBS Sports Radio Network in Manhattan to my house on Long Island. So this is episode number 34 of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. You can find it on the YouTube channel named Dave Talk Sports. Please subscribe below the video right here. Leave some comments in the comments section as well. If you have questions, you have suggestions, things you want to talk about on the podcast, feel free to leave it down there in the comments section. You can also find me on Twitter at DaveEttinger2. And you can find me on my Facebook and website named Dave Talk Sports as well. So again, this is episode number 34. You can probably see my eyeballs are exhausted. I did not sleep a lot yesterday, but that's okay. We're powering through, and that's what I do. I'm tired. Who cares? We just keep moving. Just keep moving that way. Anyway, Ahmed Rosario has been great, not only at the plate, but he's actually been fielding his position a lot better, and that was like the number one concern with Rosario, was he could hit a little bit, he could run a little bit, but he's just not a great fielder. And he's been a lot better with the glove. And I just think between he and Conforto, and obviously Alonso, McNeil's been really good, of course. Excuse me. Jesus, this is a disaster podcast. I'm just falling asleep here. Hopefully you guys have stayed this long into the podcast and you still want to watch me yawn to sleep. I'm going to sleep the second I get home. It's just the Mets collectively are gaining confidence. Now again, I still stand by what I said. I'm not changing my opinion. And you guys can hate me all you want, but I don't think the Mets are winning enough games. I don't think they're beating enough good teams down the stretch. I don't think they're going to end up in one of the wild card spots, and I think they're going to ultimately miss the playoffs. They may just miss, and this run over the last couple of weeks, even if you're playing bad teams, is impressive. You still got to win the games, and they've only lost one game in this streak. So it's impressive. DeGrom's been very good. Syndergaard's shown flashes of being pretty good. Marcus Stroman wasn't great in his Mets debut, but he'll get better. I think he went 10 days without pitching, so he'll get better. So I don't hate the Mets. I hate Mets fans who, not all of them, I hate Mets fans who think that they're now going to win the World Series because they're not making the playoffs. So, sorry to rain on this parade. I did just pay you guys all a compliment. Enjoy it while it lasts is the message that I sent today. And right now, it seems like they can't lose. Again, there's an energy, there's a buzz, there's a feeling about the Mets. Alright, I've spent way too long about the Mets. The Yankees continue to win. Injuries. We talked about them yesterday, but Mike Tauchman with 2 home runs. Mike Ford with a home run. They just can't seem to lose. And it's been amazing. And I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of the Yankees. It's just been incredible with all the injuries. Aaron Hicks, Gleyber Torres, Edwin Encarnacion, all the latest injuries, they just continue to pile up. Stanton's still not back. Severino, Betances, Gardner was on the DL, CC on the IL. I mean, it's just never ending. And you forget Didi started the season on the IL. So it's just been a roller coaster ride in terms of injuries for the Yankees. But they still keep winning a chicken dinner, as they say. That's enough about that. You still got to watch out for the Astros. All right, you got a lot of tight races and the different wild cards, but it's Yankees, it's Astros, it's Dodgers. We'll see who else can make some noise. All right, quick basketball note. Vince Carter. The man won't go away. Vince Carter is 42 years old. And he's not done. He's not done. He's coming back for one more run, one more year. He signed a 1-year contract with the Atlanta Hawks. How many games do you think Vince Carter played last year? Just take a guess. No? No guesses? All right. Vince Carter played in 76 games last year. I don't care if you're playing 10 minutes, 16 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. He played in 76 games at 41 years old. Now he's 42. Just impressive. Now, put things in perspective, Tom Brady is also 42, and he's still playing at a much higher level. Obviously a much better player than Vince Carter in his respective sport. But Vince Carter's one of the best dunkers we've ever seen. Vince Carter's had a really nice career. And he's still contributing in some way. It's not like he's giving you 2 points and 2 rebounds and he's just hanging on for dear life. Give you 10 points. You give you 10 points off the bench. A little bit of depth, a little bit of size, a little bit of length. Hawks are not going anywhere this year anyway, so maybe he'll mentor some kids. Maybe he'll, he's not a point guard, but maybe he'll help Trae Young along a little bit. Maybe he can help John Collins. We'll see. Maybe he helps that team. All right. We move on to the NFL because you can never go wrong talking about the NFL. This is an interesting question that I'm going to be asking almost every day until the season actually gets going. It's now fantasy football season. Everyone's getting prepared for their drafts. Sometimes you have a keeper league, right? You're keeping players from last year. Some have redrafts where you draft completely new teams every year, which is what I do. You have PPR, point per reception. You have non-PPR, the standard leagues. You have half PPR, so you get half a point every time someone catches a ball. There's different flexes and tight ends and defenses and defensive players and all different setups for leagues. But let's take my league, for example. I think it's one of the more common leagues out there. 12 teams, full point PPR. That means anytime a running back, receiver, or tight end catches a ball, you get 1 full extra point per that reception on top of the yardage and touchdowns and everything else. Quarterbacks and 2 flex positions, which can be running back, receiver, or tight end. 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a kicker, and a defense, and then your bench. So that's kind of the setup of the roster in my league. And again, it's a 12-team full PPR league. My question to you is, if you had the number 1 pick in that kind of draft, who are you taking? I want to see some comments in this comment section below here, because I don't know the draft order of my league yet, but I honestly don't know right now who I would take. I'm leaning in a direction. I think I know, but I'm not sure. I'm also not sure why there's so much bloody traffic on the way home today. Here I am, it's 6:23. I thought I was going to get home early this morning. I want to catch a couple hours of sleep before I go to one of my other jobs. And here I am, bumper to bumper on the Kosciuszko Bridge. Now, we'll get home eventually. We'll sleep eventually. And until then, we talk to you. So you tell me, you got the number one pick in a PPR 12-team draft. Who are you taking? I'm leaning, and this has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a Jets fan. I just think a guy who is the best running back in the NFL, who can catch a boatload of passes, and just had an entire year off to get healthy, get right, have fresh legs, and he looks like he's in fantastic shape in front of a slightly improved offensive line with an improving quarterback in Sam Darnold. I know they don't have a lot of other weapons, but I'm taking Le'Veon Bell. Excuse me. A lot of people are leaning Saquon Barkley, but that's not a great offensive line. They don't have a quarterback. Sorry, Eli. And right now, they have no other weapons. So I know Saquon Barkley can catch... Oh, man. I'm yawning again. That's 2 yawns on the podcast. I might as well just go home and go to sleep. Well, I'm trying. So this is episode number 34 of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. You can always find me on my YouTube channel, Dave Talk Sports, as well as my website and Facebook page named Dave Talk Sports, and on Twitter at Dave Ettinger2. So this is episode number 34, and I pose the same question every day from here on in. You got the first pick in the draft, 12-team PPR league. Who you taking? Some people, again, Saquon Barkley, Le'Veon Bell. Some people are leaning Christian McCaffrey. Sounds crazy, and maybe it is crazy if Cam Newton's injured, but he's healthy. Look at how many balls that guy caught. He's basically a slot receiver and a running back combined into 2 different players. So if he repeats what he did last year, he'll be well worth it. I think Ezekiel Elliott would be higher on this list if he wasn't in the midst of a holdout. And I think that Todd Gurley would be the number one pick if we knew that he was healthy. Now, there's a lot of great wide receivers out there, but there's so much depth at wide receiver. Well, you want to have at least one of the top 8 to 10 receivers in the league. You could find that in round 2. Running backs, especially with Zeke holding out, Melvin Gordon holding out, they're few and far between. Banged up Todd Gurley. You got to get one of the top running backs in the first round. That's just the way I see it. So it's an interesting question. I'd love to see some comments, or find me on Twitter at Dave Ettinger2. I'd love to see some comments in the Dave Talk Sports YouTube channel, YouTube section. Please subscribe, and I hope you enjoy it. I apologize for being so tired, and I hope someone will come apologize to me for the stupid traffic in front of me. I mean, I've never hit so much traffic on the way home in my life. I should be halfway home by now. I haven't even crossed the bridge. Well, that's enough complaining for one day. Enjoy your Tuesday. Looks a little cloudy. I don't know if it's going to rain, but it doesn't look like much sun happening today. I'm going to crawl my way home, apparently in traffic. So you guys enjoy your Tuesday. And until Wednesday, see you.